What's up, homies? Let's talk about the California housing crisis. The crisis is really that there's not enough money to pay for the excessive rent that it costs to live out here. Whoever you want to blame for that, it costs over $1,000 to live anywhere in California, and that's just the mark. And I've lived in other states. I lived in Wyoming, and the mark over there is around $200 or $300. I'm just being honest. I owned a 3 bedroom. I didn't own it, but I had a 3 bedroom for $500. I had a 1 bedroom for probably $200. Yeah. Another 1 bedroom for $200. Another 1 bedroom for $200. Usually, you don't have to pay over $200 unless you really want to start like showing people that you're doing something. So, in California, it's $1,000 mark. So, if you can come up with $1,000, which is, they say you shouldn't exceed 30% of your income for your rent, or else other parts of your life will kind of suffer. So people have gotten around this by trying to live farther away from work, but then you waste more gas and you waste more time in your life, which lowers your whole quality of life, which I totally warn you guys against. Don't do that. Live next to where you work, because you're just going to get really suffered otherwise. So the other problem goes into people trying to move into the city, end up having to pay 8 or 10 times what the house was originally worth. The house is around 70 years old and it's totally falling apart. So you either decide to just leave it like it is and live in a dump and let it fall apart and beg your landlord to fix things that they're not going to fix, or you just fix things and totally restore your house while you're living in it, while you're paying a inflated price for it. And people get tired of that. It goes one way or another. They either just make way more money and pay $4,000 worth of rent, or they accept that they could find somewhere for $1,000 and just live in the ghetto and just live ghetto, and they're just like, this is how it is, just fucking leave me alone. And they're totally right. Why should they try any harder? They're exhausted. They fucking worked all day at work, 12 hours a day, just to live in a shitty ass fucking apartment. So that's really how it is. Is there a housing crisis? No, there isn't, because there's more houses than there are people. So it's a people crisis. People don't want people to live in their house for a low price. And everybody really wants low price housing. Housing under $1,000, or at least just housing for $1,000. You can't even get that anymore. People don't want your $1,000, they want more. And what it ends up being is not very stimulating to the economy, but it's stimulating to people that are just building houses. And that's a problem. Like, first it started being where we were like, everybody could buy a house with NAGAM loans and stuff, where you're basically borrowing against yourself, going into debt, buying a house. And then we kind of were like cracking the whip on that for a while, like, alright, stop doing that. But our new trick is to like just build luxury houses and have people from other countries move in. And once they move here, they're like, where's the jobs? And we're like, there's no jobs here. And we're all like trying to find an income that isn't there, but the income is really in housing. Like I told you guys before, I worked in construction, so we never stopped building those houses, and we aren't building low income houses. We don't see any construction around low income areas. We see construction around high income areas. So if you don't have any money, what do you want us to construct? You know what I mean? I'm not a construction company, alright? I didn't make any money with construction whatsoever. I made minimum wage. But I'm just telling you how it goes. People work for money. construction's an industry, and you ain't going to slow it down unless you slow it down. And people have tried to slow it down, but there's not enough people slowing it down.